Hello everybody, Joe Bag Donuts here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Been a little bit, oops, that was not my intention, but yeah, work fucking kicked me in the dick this weekend, and even yesterday was supposed to be my day off, but I got called in at like 3 in the morning to go do some stuff because they were short on the manpower and they needed me, which was great. Love that. Had to stop drinking my beer and fucking like go brush my teeth and like smoke a bunch, that way I didn't smell of booze when I showed up. I wasn't drunk. I only had like one beer. I was fine. Don't worry about it. I'm a solidly built man. You know, one 4.5% beer ain't gonna do much to me. But don't drink and drive, kids. Anyway, what happened last time? Finally escaped the Onje section, and now we're back. We are back here to Rokkenjima to continue the story. Not that Anjay isn't continuing the story. It's like also part of the story, but it's like after the island stuff, which is like the main meat, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, stuff happened. Yeah. I totally don't forget that Anjay came to terms with her view of the world and is basically decided to be like agnostic about magic, be like, hey, you know, it's not for me, but you know, someone else is. If it does the job for someone else, who am I to, you know, rain on their parade? Anyway, back to 1984, 84. Is that what time we're at? 86. God damn it. I always fucking mix that up. I hate October 4th and 86. I always mix up those two letters. You also saw that it's like 2 in the morning when I'm recording this. Yeah. What's the board looking like this time? I think the main thing we're going with is the Kinzo is already dead theory, and basically Kraus and Natsuki are just doing a like I was gonna say like a pension scam, but you know, they're not collecting the money from the government, they're just using Kinzo's money. But hey, let's see how that pans out, huh? It was already approaching 10 at night. The typhoon had already engulfed Rokujima. Even the rose garden that looked so beautiful during the day was now being beaten down upon by the fierce winds and resisting with all its might, undulating and trying to keep the flowers from blowing away. Heading for the guest house through the rose garden, led by Shannon, were Battler, who was holding up an umbrella, Jessica, and Maria, who was sleeping on George's shoulder.
ゲストハウスくらい俺たちだけでも行けるってのにいいんだぜシャノンちゃん戻って休んでてくれよ
いいえお送りするのも仕事ですので親族会議中はうちのお母さんとか源氏さんもピリピリしてるからな
Yeah, that's understandable.
下手に私たちが気を利かせるとシャノンがサボってると勘違いされちゃう
そうだね素直にお世話になった方がむしろ迷惑をかけないだろうねありがとうシャノンいい
え確かにお嬢様のおっしゃられます通り今日のお屋敷はピリピリしています
tense is a good word to use.
だから私も皆さんとご一緒して外の空気が吸えるのでちょっと肩が楽です
親族会議わざわざ俺たち子供を追い出すくらいだから相当タチの悪い話をするんだろうぜ
Yeah, they're certainly throwing around some accusations.
だろうね僕たちはきっと何の力にもなれないせめて邪魔をしないようにするのが一番の協力だと思うよ
どうせまた金って話だろうぜ
I mean, a little bit. Some other stuff, but mostly it's about the money.
普段散々金持ちだと吹聴してるくせにいざとなったらもったいぶりやがる
Well, yeah, that's how rich people stay rich.
パーッと気前よくみんなで山分けすりゃいいのによ
そりゃ豪快な話だぜ俺にも分け前がもらえりゃいいのによもし俺にももらえたらそん時はシャノンちゃんにも分けてやるからな
Oh, how generous.
どうもありがとうございます
Well, you know, they say a fool and his money are easily parted, so, yeah, that's tracking.
お気持ちだけで嬉しいです
シャノンは欲がないね年頃の女の子なら買いたいものがいっぱいあるだろうに
そうですねでも私欲しいものの中に
Uh-huh.
金で買えるものがありませんので。
ひゅー
Yeah, but money sure helps.
無欲だな。俺なんか欲しいもん全部並べたら金がいくらあっても足りねえぜ。
お金で買えるものにはだぜ。シャノンの言う金で買えない欲しいものって何かな。
Oh yeah, you really wondering, huh?
ジョージ兄さんは心当たりある？
さあ、
Oh
なん
yeah,
だろ
well,
うね。
who knows?
シャノンじゃないとわからないね。
私にもわかりません。
We think you do. George and Shannon looked down with their faces red. Ballard had also heard the details, so he knew what Jessica was teasing them about.
ジョージの兄貴は俺にとっても尊敬できるお人だ。シャノンちゃんは本当にいい人と巡り会えたと思うぜ。
だな。私もジョージ兄さんなら安心してシャノンを任せられるぜ。
からかうのはよしてくれよ。
Yeah, what are you talking about?
僕たちにとっては真面目な問題なんだ。それよりジェシカちゃんの方だってどうなんだい？
It's not going as swimmingly.
カノン君と少しは仲良くなれたのかい？
お前カノン君とそういう仲なのかよ。
Kind of, but not really.
汚いぜジョージ兄さん。そういう話の切り返し方は汚いぜ。
Goes around, comes around. As they had an animated discussion with ups and downs, the four kids headed for the guest house. The annual family conference was extremely important to the Ushiromiya family, and this year in particular seemed like it was going to be especially so. Apparently, the family head, Kinzo, was personally going to make a very serious announcement, and everyone other than the adults had been strictly ordered to leave the mansion. Battler hadn't attended the family conference in 6 years, so he hadn't really noticed, but according to Jessica, there seemed to be a very tense atmosphere tonight, completely different from a normal year. Common sense made it clear that Kinzo, whose remaining life was short, was going to make some big announcement about the succession of the head and the distribution of his fortune.
しかし驚いたな。まさか本当にじい様が登場するとは。
なるほど。
Yeah, that'd be one way to instantly disprove the Kinzo's already dead theory.
これが魔女の反撃というわけね。
金蔵というジョーカーはもう少し伏せていたかったところだが、そろそろ切るのが頃合いであろう。切り札は切るためにある。
くそ。
It's like fucking in an RPG, saving like all your good items until the very end of the game, then you end up not even using them at all.
じい様は最初から死んでて、その代わりに謎の18人目が紛れ込んでるっていう俺の推理はここに来ていきなりバッサリってわけか。
いつかはそなたが金蔵を疑いに来ることは読めておったわ。さあさあ、これでそなたの推理は再びゼロに戻ったぞ。
Well, nowhere to go but up.
金蔵は最初から死んでい
brainstorming
て、その代わりにわらわが18人目として紛れ込んでいたという推理はこれでパーだ。
くそ。だがくじけねえぞ。一つの推理が外れただけだ。嵐のように、暴風のように襲いかかってやる。
そうでなくてはな、そうでなくてはな。まだまだ第一の晩祭始まっていないぞ。屈服にはあまりに早すぎる。
そうね。そして赤き真実で否定されたわけでもない。今この瞬間の時点でまだバトラの説は破られたわけではない。
It's just in a little bit of a gray
勝
zone.
ったつもりになるのも早すぎるわよ。
そうだな。確かにあっさり鵜呑みにするにはまだ早いな。じい様がいよいよ登場するという、やっぱり体調が悪くなったうんぬん言って現れない可能性だってある。
Like, oh, he just decided to go to bed instead, because fuck them kids.
じい様は本当は死んでいるという事実をクラウスおじさんがギリギリまで苦し紛れで引き延ばしているだけかもしれない。
なるほどなるほど。そういう考え方もあるか。好きにするがよい。すぐに決着する。すぐにな。
All of the relatives and Nanjo could be seen in the dining hall. Nanjo sat alone, quietly watching the wind and rain outside. Cross was sitting in the seat of his own rank, with Natsuhi standing motionlessly at his side. All the other siblings had their partners were gathered at the opposite end of the long table, whispering to each other.
それ本当か？
ええ、マリアは傘をくれた人物をお父様だというのよ。
なんちゅうことや。ということはつまりわしらの作戦は根底から崩れたっちゅうわけか。
作戦も何もお父様が健在で自ら発表があると言った以上、もう兄さんとのくだらない駆け引きは一切不要だわ。
だな。クソ親父め。もったいぶらずにとっとと現れてくれりゃよかったんだ。
Because it's funnier that way.
おかげで俺たちは兄貴と無駄に揉めただけだ。
それを試したかったのかもね。血のつながってない私が言うのもなんだけど、あなたたちのお父様、かなり頭はいいわよ。
I mean, yeah.
日中のやりとりは多分使用人の誰かに聞かれてお父様に報告されてたのよ。なんてこと。お父様の遺産が目当てで騒いでることはもうバレバレってことじゃない。
Oops.
ああ、なんてことよ。
Yeah, not earning any brownie points with old man. Ava held her head, uncharacteristically dejected. If, as Kyrie had said, this had been Kinzo's design from the beginning, a huge setup spread over more than a year in a bid to find the siblings' true natures. Then they had fallen for it completely.
お父さんの耳に入ったとまだ決まったわけやない。
いいえ、入ってるに決まってるわ。兄さん以外の全員がお父様は死んでいると言い切り、お父様の健在を信じなかった。ああ、もう終わりだわ。
Yeah, it's gonna make it a little
お父
awkward.
様は宣言するのよ。兄さんこそが跡継ぎで、私たちには片翼を身にまとう資格もないと宣告するのよ。ああ、私は。
姉さん、しっ
Yeah,
か
don't
り。
go fucking spinning your wheels over nothing.
ローザさん、
Just
マ
tire
リアちゃん
yourself
は
out.
本当にお父様に傘をもらったのかしら。
え、どういう意味？
マリアちゃんはお父様に会ったかもしれない。でも私たちは会ってないわ。マリアちゃんがそうだと主張しているだけよ。
そんな、マリアが嘘をついてるというの？
Or either she was told to say that, or, unintentionally she thought.
落ち着けよローズ。マリアちゃんが嘘をつくとは言ってねえ。だがマリアちゃんは素直な子だろ。例えばだが、源氏さんあたりがこの傘はおじい様からマリア様に渡すように言われましたみたいな。マリアちゃんは親父に会ったわけでなくてもおじい様に傘をもらったって言うかもしれねえぜ。
Fair.
そうね。その手が考えられるわ。
It's like getting a present from Santa. You know, your parents give it to you, and it's like, oh, it says on here that Santa gave it to me. Nice.
だがな、マリアおじい様がやってきて傘を渡してくれたと。
ええ、そう言ったわ。おじい様から直接受け取ったとはっきり言ったわ。
直接か。お手上げだな。
下手な考え、休むに似たりとはよく言ったものだわ。ちょっと考えてみたら、傘がどうこうなんてどうでもいい問題だわ。
What do you mean?
どうしてよ。マリアちゃんが兄さんに買収されて、あたかもお父様が健在であるかのように嘘を頼まれたかもしれないでしょ。
I mean,
傘
yeah,
が確かにお
kids are
父様
pretty
から
easy to
渡された
buy.
なんて証拠、どこにもありはしない。
マリアちゃんが誰から傘をもらっていようとも、あるいは傘なんかそもそももらっていなかったとしても、お父様はもうじき現れる。現れたお父様の前に、傘の問題なんて全くどうでもいいこと。つまり、傘の問題が取り沙汰されるのは、そうでない場合ということよ。
そうでない場合ってのは何のことだ。
そうか。
Enlighten us,
ワキリ
Hideyoshi.
エさんが言いたいのはこういうことやろ。 お父さんもうすぐ出会ってくることになっとるが、
But until he actually shows up, you know.
また難癖をつけて、結局現れん可能性がまだ残ってるっちゅうことやろ。
そうか。そうよね。私たちの追求に兄さんが苦し紛れの時間稼ぎでお父様が現れると出任せを言ったのかもしれない。やっぱりお父様はすでに亡くなっていて、兄さんは今なおまだ健在であると嘘をつき続けている。
And then, oh no, Kinzo said, fuck them kids, I'm just gonna drink absinthe in my room by myself.
つまりお父様が現れれば全ての策は通用しない。考える必要もない。私たちは訴状の魚。運を天に任せてお父様との直接交渉に臨むしかないわ。それこそ土下座とげんこつを覚悟してお金を無心するしかない。でも逆にお父様が現れなければ私たちの当初の作戦は何も揺るがない。
なるほど。つまりどっちに転ぼうとも
Nope.
今さらあたふたする必要は何もないってことね。
そういうこと。
Just roll with the punches as they
お父
come.
様が
No
現
use
れれば
fucking racking your
本
brains
来
over
の親
nothing.
族会議が行われ
Or,
るだけの
well,
話。
more over things you can't change.
現れなければ私たちは引き続きクラウス兄さんを追求すればいいだけの話なのよ。
お父さんの機嫌が急に悪くなってみたいなクラウスさんの言い逃れを決して許さんようにせんとな。
どうやら私たちが本当に検討すべきは、兄さんがどんな策を弄してこの場をごまかそうとしてくるかよ。往生際の悪さは私が一番よく知っているわ。
お父様がお元気なら私たちは土下座してお金を無心し、クラウス兄さんの茶番だったなら私たちは醜い兄弟喧嘩を再開し、今年も素敵な親族会議になりそうね。
だな。下手な考え、休むに似たりってわけか。もうじき22時だな。兄貴に催促してみるか。
Rudolph and the rest looked at Kraus. Firmly seated, he looked like he was waiting Kinzo's arrival with an air of composure. They couldn't tell whether that really was composure, or whether he was scheming about how to tie together his lie.
あなた。
落ち着きなさい。もう今さらジタバタしても始まらん。源氏さんに任せよ
う。もうじき10時ですね。
That was the time that had been set for tonight's family conference to open. And in addition, it was also the time that the Ushiromiya family head needed to appear. Right then, they heard the sound of footsteps approaching from the hall. There were multiple sets. Natsuhi jerked her head up with a start. But there came the sound of a knock, and her expression filled with disappointment. Yeah, Kinzo fucking wouldn't knock on the door to his own home. Because Kinzo probably wouldn't have knocked.
失礼いたします。戸締まりの見回りが終わりました。
It was Goda and Kumasawa. Unlike the physically fit Goda, it was rare for Kumasawa with her old body to still be tasked with work this late. Of course, Kraus also seemed to know that.
ご苦労だった。こんな時間まで申し訳ないね、熊沢さん。
いいえ、こう見えてもまだまだ夜更かしは得意でございますので。
熊沢についてだけは立ち会いを外させても良いのでは。さすがに体に応えるでしょう。
使用人も全員揃えろとの。
Old people are made of tough stuff. She'll be fine.
逆らえ。
Tonight's family conference was clearly different from a normal one. On a normal year, no one was able to attend the family conference except for relatives. It would have been inconceivable for any servant to be present. But this year was different. They had been told to have all of the servants in attendance for the family conference. Of course, they would not be allowed to speak. They were there as observers. Just what in the world was going to happen that needed 5 servants to observe? Even Kraus didn't know.
徹夜はこう見えても強いんですよ。旦那様もサバをもりもり食べれば夜ももっとたくましくなれますよ。
I mean, it's good for your brain.
なるほど。まだまだお元気でおられる。100歳になっても元気でお勤めに違いない。
奥様、勝手ながら軽食の準備をさせていただきました。いつでも配膳できますので、ご指示を頂戴できればと思います。
ありがとう。やはりあなたは気が利きますね。他の皆さんにコーヒーのおかわりを勧めてください。
Can I grab enough coffee?
かしこまりました。
After bowing slightly, Goda took the pot towards the relatives gathered at the other end of the table. As he did, more footsteps approached from the hallway. A single set. They were light, so probably Cannon or Shannon. Or maybe Goda? Goda seems like he walks like a cat. I mean, not Goda, fucking Genji. Genji seems like he walks like a cat. Even before the knock, they could imagine who it was.
失礼いたします。お子様方をゲストハウスへお送りい
Either
た
that
し
or
ました。
Genji just doesn't make any noise at all.
ご苦労でした。今夜は特別な晩です。緊張感を欠かさないように。
はい、かしこまりました。
Genji, accompanied by Cannon, had gone to meet Kinzo. There's still no sign of their return. The hands of the clock were creeping past 10. Once sure of that, Ava spoke to Kraus.
兄さん、もう時間だけれども。
Yeah, what's the holdup?
親族会議、まだ始まらないのかしら。
主賓の到着が遅れている。しばらく待ちたまえ。
いつまで？悪いけど、
I
時
mean,
間
who
を切っ
knows?
てもら
Fucking
うわ
Kinzo
よ。
marches to his own beat.
お父様がなかなか来ないなんてのを延々と続けて、夜明けまで待たされたらたまらないわ。
親父殿のお越しになる時間を私が約束などできるものか。何を焦っているのだね。まずはコーヒーでも飲んで落ち着かんかね。
兄貴、俺たちは親族会議のために集まってるんだ。茶番じゃない。あと30分は待つ。だがそれでダメなら書斎に押しかけさせてもら
Well,
うぞ。
you can try.
押しかけるとは物騒な。当主様への敬いにあまりにも欠ける行為です。
そうよね。ごめんなさい。あと30分はおとなしくしてるわ。30分後にも同じ笑いが浮かべられるか楽しみだわ。
親父殿が死んでいると。
それを今さら議論する気はないわ。お父様がここにやってくればいいだけの話。兄さんを言いまかす必要なんて何もないもの。
後ろ宮家当主は正当なる人間へ正当なる手続きをもって継承される。お前が何の策を浪したところで何も抗えんよ。もちろん私も。
何をわけのわかんないことを。今まで散々自分こそが次期当主だと威張ってきたくせに。
お前の言葉をそのまま返そう。それを今さら議論する気はないね。親父殿がやってきて自らの口でそれを宣言すればいいだけの話だ。
Man, you're pretty sure of yourself
お
about
前
that,
を
huh?
言いまかす必要などどこにもない。だったかな。
Kraus casually turned Ava's words back on her. Of course, that poured fuel on Ava's anger. But it didn't ignite. Because in that instant, the sound of a very large knock rang out. Both Genji and Cannon were usually very reserved when they knocked. They wouldn't hit the door with such a violent strength. It was like a judge's gavel slamming down in a call to order. So everyone felt quiet. The door opened slightly, and Genji showed himself. Then, he spoke with a solemn tone different from his usual one. It wasn't the tone he used when carrying out his duties. It was the tone he used when speaking for Kinzo himself. So just by hearing Genji speak like that, the siblings were struck with a sudden tension.
皆様、ご着席を。
At those words, the dining hall fell into complete silence and everyone rushed back to their designated seats. They were like students who had been making a lot of noise just before homeroom, hurriedly returning to their seats when the teacher came. Might have even felt humorous. But there was no way anyone would joke about it. Everyone sat in order, with Shannon, Goda, and Kumasawa stood up straight in a row by the wall.
栄光ある後ろ宮家の当主にして金色に輝ける六軒島の領主後宮金蔵卿のおなりであります。
Where? Of the double doors into the dining hall, Genji opened the right door from the inside, and Kanon opened the left door from the outside. Well, there he is. And, welcomed by the deepest of bows from the two servants, with his cape fluttering majestically, Kinzo appeared. Kinzo's gait had a dignified weight to it. It was very hard to believe that he had been diagnosed as not having much time left to live. Genji pulled back Kinzo's seat and motioned for him to sit. But Kinzo remained standing, signaling with his chin for Genji to move back. Also nice of you to finally join us.
ようこそ諸君、六軒島へ。何を怯えた顔をしておるのか、エヴァ。
いえ、そんな怯えてるなんて。お父様が大変お元気そうなので、ほっとしただけで。
おお、
I'm sure.
エヴァ、お前は相変わらず面白いな。
You're in a pretty good mood, Kinzo.
クラウスとの賭けに負けて悔しいと素直に言えばよいのに。言えないよな。
Don't hack up a lung, guy. Ava realized that the conversation during the day had indeed been an open book to Kinzo, and she turned red as she hung her head.
さてと、我が息子たち娘たち、そしてその伴侶の諸君、お前たちの就寝している我が財産と当主の継承について、今宵は重要な発表をしようと思う。
Yeah, we haven't gotten a letter from Beatrice yet, have we?
まず最初に、私はひどく失望していることを伝えようと思う。それは今日まで誰にもあの碑文の謎を解くことができなかったということだ。
Even though Kinzo said he was disappointed, a condescending smile, as though there was no way the likes of them could have solved it, rose to his face as he cast an eye over each and every one of them.
私はあれを解けた者に全てを譲り渡すつもりでいた。しかし今日までに誰も解くことができず、我が全ては誰にも継承されることなく、ここに至っているわけだ。情けないお前たちの中にそれを受け継ぐ資格を持つ人間が現れなかったことが、私は心底残念であり、そして情けなくざまあないと思っている。
The siblings hung their head in silence. Of course, they would have solved it if they could. They had blown their chance, and none of them could deny that, but even so, it was just a harder riddle.
よって私は碑文の謎にて
Especially for
我
me,
が継承者を選
doesn't
ぶこ
know
と
all
を
my
こ
fucking
こに
obscure
中止
kanji.
することを宣言する。つまりはタイムオーバー、ゲームオーバーというわけだ。残念だったな、お前たち。お前たちには等しく公平にチャンスがあったはずなのに、それが今ここについえた。
So what? Were you just going primogenitor? It truly sounded like Kinzo was making a victory
な
proclamation.
らば当主は長男のクラウスに継承されるのか。答えはノーである。
Oops.
え？
わかっているよな、クラウス。
He makes bad financial decisions and is kind of an oaf.
お前には確かに次期当主という肩書きを与えた。だが、お前はそれに溺れただけだ。次期当主というのはどういう意味かわかるか？
The man just kind of sat on his laurels.
お父さんの後を継ぐという意味です。
違う！次期当主というのは当主が約束されたものではない。
Something that is earned.
いいか、クラウス。二度と教えないからよく聞けよ。次期当主というのはな、自分以外にも当主を狙う奴がいたら、その花を徹底的にへし折って二度と逆らえないようにしてやる奴のことを言うのだ。これは何も当主だけのことではない。金についても言える。金持ちというのは金を持っている奴のことではない。自分より金を持っている奴すべてを叩き潰し、そして誰よりも金をかき集められる奴のことを言うのだ。才能も同じ。天才とは才能に秀でた奴のことではない。自分より秀でた奴を全て叩き潰し、自分を天才と全ての人間に呼ばせることを力とカリスマで強要できる奴を指している。
Definitely lacks that last bit.
お前はその全てにおいて勘違いしているのだよ。だから次期当主の器ではないのだよ。
Well, that's gotta be a fucking bitter pill to swallow.
勉強になります。
Perhaps that was precisely Kinzo's philosophy. Though it could also be taken for a rant, it was a result of faithfully carrying out that philosophy of his that Kinzo had raised the Ushirimiya family to such prosperous heights. It may be hard to imagine after his immersion in the occult in recent years, but it was that brutal aggressiveness that was that was Ushirimiya Kinzo's charisma and aura.
このような不甲斐ないクラウスに後宮家の全てを継承する資格などない。ならばエヴァ、ルドルフ、ローザの3人にはあるのか？
Oh, definitely not Rosa.
これもノーである。非分の謎を解けず、さりとてクラウスを引きずり下ろす策も浪せず、お前たちにできたのは3人寄せ集めで共同戦線を張ってクラウスから金をせびろうとしたことだけ。しかもその策も浅はかそのもの。クラウス一人を追い詰めることさえできやしない。情けないことこの上なし。
Yeah, can't even gang up on someone properly.
次期当主の座をどんなことをしてでも奪い取ろうという貪欲さが足りぬ。欲しいもののためにはいかなる犠牲も払い、どこまでも貪欲となるべし、強欲となるべし。幸運の女神は貪欲なる者にこそ微笑む。
Not wrong.
その野生の精神がないお前たち3人にクラウス同様に継承の資格などありはしない。
You're too reserved and reasonable. Even the rest had no words to respond with, and they couldn't figure out what it was Kinzo was about to say. Was Kinzo actually planning to proclaim that no one would succeed the head? If so, that would work to Ava, Rosa, and Rudolph's advantage. Because the only thing the siblings would ultimately need to do is coordinate everything between them after Kinzo's death and split the inheritance evenly. On the contrary, if a specific person's name was raised and proclaimed to be the one to succeed the head, that would surely be more troublesome. But would Kinzo really say something that would benefit any of the 4 siblings after lambasting them so much?
まさか誰にも引き継がないからと財産を全て慈善団体にでも寄付するとか言い出すつもりじゃないでしょうね。
お父様ならやりかねないという恐怖はあるわ。
頭に血が上ってるだけさ。しばらくは聞き流すしかね
ではお父さん、
Yeah, what's the game plan?
次期当主についてはどういうお考えをお持ちですか？
お前たちに完全に失望した以上、私は誰に引き継ぐ気も失
What,
っ
just
た。
gonna take it to your grave?
よって後宮家はこれで終わる。
Oh,
私の代で終わりだ。
そういうわけには。
後宮家などあの震災の時にとっくに滅んでおるわ。今の後宮家など私が束の間だけ見ている黄金の幻想に過ぎぬのだ。私が夢より覚めれば終わる程度のもの。この世など全ては夢、幻。
okay, Grandpa, let's get you to bed.
生など死という目覚めの前には白チュームと同じよ。ああ、そうだ、元よりそうだったのだ。私が死ぬ時に全てを失うのがベアトリーチェとの契約、そして呪い。そうはいくか、ベアトリーチェ。お前を捕らえるのはこの私だ。今宵それは現実となるだろう。
Press X to doubt, bud. For a while, Kinzo was overcome with cackling, and his eyes bulged. Whenever he talked about Beatrice, he was always eloquent and filled with obsession.
お前たちのような愚かなる息子たちなどまさに白チューム。初めからいなかったも同然よ。消えろ、覚めろ。真実の私のまどろみと共に消え去ってしまえ。私を継承するに値する何者も築き上げてこなかった出来損ないどもめ。
金蔵さん、よろしいか
な。何か我が友よ。
Nanjo nervously raised his hand, asking to speak. Kinzo permitted it.
金蔵さんの気持ちもわかる。子供たちを愛するがゆえに。
You sure about that?
大きな期待を寄せ、それゆえに期待を裏切られたような気持ちになる親心。同じく子供や孫を持つ身としてよくわかります。しかし金蔵さんは非凡だ、天才だ。そんな金蔵さんに追いついて当然というんではちょいとひどすぎるんじゃないかね。それでもそんな金蔵さんに追いつこうとクラウスさんもエヴァさんもルドルフさんもローザさんも、そしてその伴侶の皆さんもよく頑張っています。
Sometimes it's not good enough.
ほほう、よく頑張ってどの程度の金を稼ぎ上げたというのか。
Well, most of them are in the hole, so not much.
事業にことごとく失敗して借金を抱え、未だに私のすねをかじろうという間抜けどものどこがよく頑張っていると言えるのか。この世のすべては金として結晶しているのだ。
I mean, unless it's an NFT, in which case it's non-fungible.
それがつかめぬということは、この世をつかんでおらぬということ。
Go off, Kinzo.
魂がこの世をしっかりつかんでおらぬということは、生きるに値せぬということだ。消えろ、我が生と現実から消え去ってしまえ。
それは暴論です。その理論から言ったら私だって生きていてはいけないことになる。
Correct.
そんな私でも金蔵さんと過ごしたチェスの時間は世の中お金で買えないものもたくさんあることを金蔵さん自身が誰よりもご存知のはずだ。
But you're different from his kids. You never had the expectation to, you know, fucking reach those heights. As the siblings motionlessly hung their head, they cheered Nanjo on inside their hearts. Not one of the siblings could offer their opinion to Kinzo in a rage, but Nanjo alone was allowed to, as Kinzo's close friend. Even though Kinzo had raged so fiercely, after being admonished by Nanjo, he nodded several times as though in agreement. His surprisingly docile side might have seemed cute, but there was no one who could laugh.
確かに息子さんたちは金蔵さんほどの財は築き上げられなかったかもしれない。まあそれでも私から見れば羨ましいほどのお金持ちではありますがな。しかしお金だけでなくお金では買えないたくさんのものを築き上げました。それについて言えば金蔵さんにも負けないくらいです。
ほう、金で買えぬ何を積み上げたというのか。
I don't know, fucking loving family question mark?
幸せです。家族です。彼らは素晴らしい伴侶を見つけ、子を産み、それぞれの幸せな家庭を築かれています。
Yeah, way better than you fucking did.
あなたの一族を繁栄させ、そして孫を連れ帰ってきてくれました。孫はいいですぞ。私たち年寄りは私たちには見ることもかなわぬ新しき時代を生きるだろう若き孫に。
I don't think Kinzo has that good of an opinion of his grandkids.
それは老郷の唯一の楽しみではありませんか。思い出しなさい、金蔵さん。彼らが初めて孫を連れて帰ってくれた時の喜びを。息子さんたちは、そして孫たちは金蔵さんの偉業を後の世まで伝え模範としてくれることでしょう。それはお金がいくらあろうとも孤独なる身にはなせぬことです。
The siblings all nodded in agreement. Certainly, there had been a time when Kinzo had looked at his newly born grandchildren with happiness in his eyes, back when he still had some sanity in his heart. However, was there any human warmth still left inside Kinzo's heart?
それはつまり私が成した巨万の富の代わりに金を儲ける代わりに孫を儲けたとそういうわけか。
It's like, what the fuck is this trade? Fucking kids are awful. They're just money sponges.
いえいえ、そういう意味では。
私が稼ぎ上げた数百億という財産の代わりに息子たちは一人ずつ孫を儲けたというわけか。それは素晴らしい。
It's like, damn, fucking slacking off. At least have like a Catholic amount of kids.
つまりは100億を投じて命を一つ生み出したと、そういうわけだ。これは面白い。錬金術的に考えて実に面白い例えではないか。
Quite the human transmutation you done there.
ほう、なんと価値ある孫たちなのか。素晴らしい、素晴らしい。そうなのか、クラウス。お前の娘には100億の価値があるというのか。
Maybe to him and Natsuhi alone. Kraus couldn't answer instantly. Oof! Ooh, poor Jessica. It wasn't that he didn't have confidence in his daughter. It was because he didn't have a clue what Kinzo was trying to test with this question. But when Natsuhi was then pressed for an answer, she responded, breaking Kraus's silence with an answer of her own interpretation.
はい、ジェシカは100億のお金を積まれても手放せない娘です。その意味において、お金では数えられない価値があると信じています。
ほう、100億の価値があると言い切るか。ほうほう。エヴァはどうか。お前のところのジョージはどうだ。
Instant yes from her. Given the way Natsuhi had chosen to answer, there was naturally no doubt as to what Ava's answer would be. Even though Ava should have known better to respond to this kind of provocative question, she did so as well.
お父様、ジョージには100億の、いいえ、それ以上の価値があります。それはお金で買えないという抽象的な意味ではありません。ジョージは必ずや自らの価値に等しいだけの財産を築き上げるでしょう。お父様の偉業を継ぐにふさわしい孫となるはずです。
Ava sent a glance at Hideyoshi Natsuya, saying, and Natsuya that said, like a fiddle. After hearing Ava's answer, Natsuya was about to add more praise for her own daughter, but stopped at a glare from Kraus.
ならばルドルフはどうか。
Ooh, Battler?
お前のところのバトラはどうだというのか。
Well, could have gone better.
うちのバトラーはジョージ君に比べられちゃ言われることは何もねえ。誘拐されて身代金を100億よこせと脅されたらのしをつけて進呈したい程度のやつではある。さらにバカで無鉄砲だ。偉そうな夢やできるわけもねえことを語り出す。その一点においてはバカ100億人分に匹敵する大バカだろうさ。
Yeah, but he's funny.
バカもできねえ凡人どもが100億人束になってもできねえことをきっとあいつはやり出すだろうよ。ま、俺はどうせこけるだろうとは思ってる。世の中は甘くね
え。Yeah, but at least he's got the guts to try.
しかし100億の凡人を眺めるよりは奴の人生は干渉して愉快なものになるだろうことだけは疑ってねえぜ。
Ava clicked her tongue at the clever style of speech that would probably match Kinzo's taste. Apparently, Rudolph had been after this himself. He couldn't back at her.
マリアはどうか。
Well.
マリアは私の可愛いたった一人の娘です。
We tried with her.
お金の価値で測れるものではありません。それだけです。
Yeah, not much to say.
なるほど。
Well, Maria's Maria, and that's not gonna change.
夢と未来、奇跡と可能性は我が魔力の源泉だ。希望をなくしていかなる魔法も力を持ちはしない。すでに凡百であることを証明してしまったお前たちには何を期待することも叶わない。
It's like male pattern baldness. Maybe, business success just like skips a generation.
なるほど。孫たちには未来の可能性があり、魔法的奇跡を期待する価値はあり得るというわけか。それをもって100億以上の価値と言ってみせるなら、わからぬでもない。
Yeah, they're just a little acorn, plant it in the ground, give it a little nurturing, and boom, you'll have a mighty oak eventually. When Kinzo got in a rage, he wouldn't let anyone talk back. But even so, while yelling by himself, he would sometimes convince himself of something all on his own accord and change his own opinion. That's what this felt like to the siblings. Apparently, even though Kinzo had become absolutely fed up with his shoddy children and had cast them away as being unfit for the inheritance of his title or his fortune, he wasn't so sure about his grandchildren. At this rate, he might soon say that the inheritance would go to his grandchildren instead of the siblings. As the siblings sat in fear of what their fickle and short-tempered father would suddenly think of next, they carefully watched his every move.
考えを少し改めよ。お前たちに我が全てを継承する気は全くない。しかし、孫たちの誰かにその資格があるかどうかを問うのはなかなかに面白いことだ。
What, gonna bring him over here?
いつまでも子供だと思っておったが、ひょっとすると私を驚かせるような原石のきらめきを見せてくれるかもしれん。そしてそれを期待し試すのは、なるほど。我が余生最後の道楽としても捨てがたい。さて、これはどうしたものか。
ジョージならお父様の後を継ぐにふさわしいと。私は自信を持って推薦できます。
Yeah, George is well-rounded, but he's kind of boring. Ava claimed that right away. Nazi looked like she was about to follow along, but Kraus gave her a look telling her to restrain herself, so she swallowed her words.
勇ましいではないか。では、こうしよう。後宮家の家督と財産のすべてを受け継ぐ資格があるかどうか、孫たちに個別に問おうではないか。
お父様。
しかしそれはお前たちの誰かに間接的に家督を引き継ぐという意味ではない。
Yeah, you can't just sponge off your kids.
お前たちにはすでに失望しているのだ。お前たちに与えるものは今や何もない。何もな。私が問うのは孫たちだ。そして引き継ぐかもしれないのも孫たちだ。
Yep, be gone, trash.
それを決して勘違いするな。
No fucking Regency Council over your kids where you're the one really making all the decisions.
同じくだ。親父の決定に従うぜ。なあ、姉貴。
もちろんよ。お父様が賢明な判断をされると信じています。
私もお父様の判断に従います。
孫たちをどのように試すかは考えよう。そしてそれはお前たちには今さら関係のない話だ。
And well, you said you're done with the epitaph, so you gonna make up a new fucking challenge?
当主継承とお前たちはもはや何の関係もないのだから。だからこの場ではお前たちに関係のあるもう一つの話をしようではないか。
Yeah, shoot.
もう一つの話。
What, you're just gonna tell him to get the fuck out?
うん。
Start swimming?
それこそが今宵の、そして後ろ宮家最後の親族会議の本当の理由だ。お前たちに求めるのは議論でも意見でもない。我が儀式に協力を求めるためだ。
儀式？
静かに。お父様がお話をなさっている最中よ。
Rudolph and the rest automatically knitted their brows at the occult-like word ritual. Was he talking about starting a strange ritual involving Beatrice's resurrection again? He was demanding that they help? What in the world was he planning to start? In the past, he'd carried out many eccentricities that he called by the same name, such as lighting a strange incense and filling the whole mansion with the stench. To the siblings, a ritual was nothing more than one of the aged Kinzo's obnoxious hobbies.
お父さん、儀式とは一体。
I'm gonna make a united front to fucking catch this little fairy in a bottle.
私たちに協力できることなら何でもご協力します。ねえ、ローザ。
ええ。でも一体何を？
私が碑文に刻んだ通りの儀式だ。ベアトリーチェを蘇らせ、黄金鏡の扉を開く儀式である。肉体の檻を逃れ、私の指の隙間を嘲笑うようにすり抜けるあの魔女を屈服させる私の最大の秘術だ。
Sure, we'll fucking LARP with you around the mansion, old man.
13人もの命を生贄に捧げねばならぬがな。13人もの生贄は容易には集まらん。
Well, you got the servants and all the parents.
しかし、今宵は親族会議。これだけの大人数が六軒島に集まった。この儀式が行えるのは今日を置いて他にないのだ。
Taken literally, it can only sound as though he was telling them to die as sacrifices for his disturbing ritual. Ridiculous. Was this some kind of metaphor? But they didn't have any clue what he was trying to tell them through this analogy. The siblings whispered together, wondering what Kinzo was saying.
親父は何を言ってるんだ。いつもの悪い病気か？
だろうな。しばらく黙って聞いてやる。
ごめんなさい、お父様。どういう意味でおっしゃられているのか。
Yeah, could you explain a little more literally?
何が分かりかねるというのか。
Now, we've already established they're dumb.
私は至極単純に話している。ベアトリーチェを蘇らせる儀式のために、この島にいる人間から13人を選び、何の価値もないお前たちも 我が儀式の生贄としてなら大いに役に立てるというわけだ。ちこれは冗談でも何でもない。
I wouldn't expect it of you.
我が人生の最後に欲する最後の賭け、最後の儀式である。この島には今13人を超える人間がいる。つまりこの膨大な数の生贄を容易に満たせるだけの頭数が存在するというわけだ。
So what, if you willingly offer yourself up, you don't gotta leave it up to chance?
お前たちは我が儀式の生贄となれ。
Kind of weigh down the scales in your favor?
金蔵さん、あんたまさかあの話は本気だったのかね。冗談ではなく。
Unusual for Nanjo, his face changed color and he stood up and shouted. It seemed this wasn't the first time Nanjo had heard all this dark talk about 13 sacrifices.
すまんな我が友よ。あれは冗談でも何でもない。我が生涯を賭して最後に挑む儀式でありゲームなのだよ。そう、これはゲームだ。お前たちにとって我が財産を得て島を出ることがゴールならば、それを達する方法は2つしかない。
Solve the epitaph, or
13人の生贄から逃れ、見事生き残り、今更ながら碑文の謎を解いて儀式を止めてみせるか。私を殺し、この儀式を止めてみせるか。
Oh, well, that makes sense. Knock out one of the king pieces and, the game's just over.
この2つしかない。
By now, it was no longer whispering among those gathered here, but uneasy commotion. Even the siblings had noticed that Kinzo was beginning to act abnormally.
お父さん、少しお疲れなのでは。源氏さん、お父さんは少し酒を？
I mean, yes, but...
いいえ、親方様はご明晰であらせられます。
悪いけど親父、何を言い出すのかさっぱりだぜ。親父が愛する魔女を蘇らせるためにどんな怪しげな儀式を追っ始めてもそりゃ自由だぜ。親父の趣味なんだからな。だがそいつに巻き込まれて生贄にされるのはまっぴらごめんだぜ。
Well, you say that, but you haven't had that much luck the last couple rounds there, bud.
ルドルフ、お父様の話に口を挟む気？
何言ってんだ姉貴。こんな物騒な話に「はいそうですか」でうなずけるわけねえだろ。
Was the ritual Kinzo had mentioned literally the frightening thing it seemed to be? Or was it some kind of test to choose the successor? It seemed that Rudolph had taken it at its disturbing face value, but Ava apparently still believed it was something like a trial or examination to find the proper next head. But Kinzo's response to this was clear.
さて、私からの話は以上だ。異議も意見も何にも必要はない。4人の不出来なる息子たちがいたという私の夢が覚めるだけの話なのだ。お前たちにとってこれより目の前で起こることはまさに夢、幻、あるいはこの世のものと思えぬ理解に及ばぬ世界だろう。しかしそれこそが我が現実。お前たちという出来の悪き浅い夢は今こそようやく覚めるのだ。さあ、もうゲームは始まっているぞ。これだけいては誰から命を奪えばいいものやら。
The roulette's been spun, the ball's bouncing around.
さらばだ、出来の悪き息子たちよ。そして生涯でただ一度、そして最後に私の儀式のために役に立て。いでよ、ペンドラゴンの記念兵たちよ。
Oh, you pulling out the fucking Chiesters? As Kinzo raised his arms high like an opera singer and yelled those words as though towards a packed audience. The air shattered like glass, and the figures of 3 people who hadn't been invited to this island appeared regardless.
シエスタ45ここにシエスタ410ここに
Oh damn, this is like what you're into? Oh.
シエスタ00
Oh,
ここに
hello.
であります。
You're a new one. I like the eye patch. Chester Dumelo, a weapon of the Sisters Cavalry, which serves Pendragon. Dumelo has the position of their calm and composed leader. However, that is merely the role that was sought of her. Her true self is far more of a weakling. Dumelo excels in reconnaissance as a vanguard, and has enormous power to bring the enemy under control during encounters. However, her excessive power level has been criticized as inhumane, and it is not rare for her to be lynched and abused upon surrendering on the battlefield. Her one eye tells of this without words. Do the others have pants on? No? Okay. 3 girls with bizarre forms suddenly appeared behind Kinzo. Where from? When? Who? Who are they? The humans were thrown off balance and their minds went blank. And because they wasted time on such thoughts, they lost their last chance to survive.
お前たちには6人の射殺を許可する。標的は自由だ。攻撃開始。
自由射撃了解であります。良き標的に感謝。
Target rich environment.
かっこ自由射撃開始。
にひ一番乗りだね。シャッハ
Hose them down. As 410 scratched the air with her finger, a golden bow appeared in empty space, and its string was pulled back. The golden arrow that had been readied there was fired off without any hesitation, flew around the room, leaving haphazard gold trails everywhere, and from among those sitting at the table of the family conference, chose Natsuki and pulverized the left half of her face. Oof! Wipeout. Flesh and deep red blood splattered all around, leaving a massive amount of deep red splatter marks on the relatives' faces and a pure white tablecloth. There was silence. Despite the massive number of deep red blotches left on the tablecloth, even still, no one could understand why Natsuki's head was half smashed, or why she was hanging her head as though she had dozed off in the chair. And they watched these events in silence. Those sitting on the right-hand side from Natsuki were silent for a relatively long time. Those sitting on her left were not, because the people sitting on that side had been shown how her head had been smashed open like a watermelon or a pomegranate. They could even see inside her.
まずは一人、夏日か。最後まで運のない女だ。次。
00射撃。
In the same way, 00 scratched the empty air to ready her bow and fired. Two? Just like the golden arrow, what's their proper pronunciations for the names? It's 45 and 410. Just like the golden arrow 410 had released, it flew around and around at high speeds, drawing a convoluted trail, after which, as he looked at Natsuki in shock, it smashed half of Rudolph's head in the same way, killing him instantly. This time, everyone did not stop thinking altogether. They realized that a terrible murder had been carried out right in front of them, according to Kinzo's words. And they understood that Kinzo would probably kill again. Shrill screams burst out. Even now, they still didn't know what to do. So they could only keep screaming and flapping their wide-open mouths like goldfish. Let's fucking cheese it! As Ava asked Kinzo, and that in total shock, Hideyoshi, who had come to his senses and risen from his chair faster than anyone else, pulled at her arm from behind. However, the merciless fate had chosen for the third sacrifice was Hideyoshi. Just like the two before him, half of Hideyoshi's head was neatly smashed, and the right side of his head, which happened to be facing that direction at the time, was blown away, chunks of its contents thrown everywhere like a watermelon or a pomegranate. So, still holding Eva, Hideyoshi toppled backwards and fell down. Still held by her beloved husband, Eva fell over backwards with him. Eva screamed, and who could blame her? The face she had been looking for had been half lost, and the crushed skull which squelched exposed brain, and the crushed jaw which were all bare.
45着弾命中。
見事だ。続けて撃て。残りは3人であるぞ。お父さん、これは何の真似です。
Kraus stood up forcefully and was about to rush Kinzo when Double O blocked him. Despite her slender-looking body, she held back Kraus's body with just the palm of her right hand. He still tried to resist and attack Kinzo, so Double O lifted Kraus up by the collar and twisted into his Adam's apple with her thumb. It seemed to be very painful, and Kraus was overcome with agony. Nanjo's sharp words finally broke the spell that had been holding them down in their chairs. As Goda and Kumasawa made a mad scramble to escape from the dining hall, 410 teleported to that spot, blocking the way.
すっとろいに逃がすと思ったかに。
お助け。
ゴーダさん、伏せて。
At the sound of Kirie's sharp voice, Goda, in a state of complete confusion, ducked. Then, a burst of air rushed above his head. Kirie had taken a big swing with a chair to mow 410 down. But 410, still wearing a contemptuous expression, easily caught that widely swung chair with one hand.
おっかない女だに。旦那の後がそんなに追いたい。
From the sleeve of that arm that she had used to catch the chair, something like a shining golden snake appeared, coiled itself around the chair, and with a huge crunch, burst it into splinters. It was a fearsome power, far stronger than any vice. Kirie realized that the being in front of her, which looked like a girl, was actually a being that surpassed human knowledge and which a human could not even begin to oppose. Her head was filled with a great alarm bell that welled up from inside her. Even with a scene like this before their eyes, Genji, Shannon, and Cannon, the servants permitted to wear the one-winged eagle, continued to stand calmly at attention by the wall, making them look very bizarre and eerie. For an instant, Kirie thought that the source of their calmness was that they were with the enemy and had been granted that they wouldn't be killed, guaranteed that they wouldn't be killed. But no sooner than she had thought that than the side of Genji's face was blown away before her eyes.
45着弾命中。
源氏め、これは運が悪い。安らかに眠れ、我が友よ。そなたの死は無駄にはならぬぞ。我が愛しき魔女復活の重要なる13の鍵の一つとなるのだから。
The half of Genji's expression that remained was as indifferent as ever. He tilted, fell in a heap, and sent a blood-red splatter out across the floor.
Genji様。
僕たちなんて。
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Yep, just keep telling yourself that. From the meek and frustrated, no, resigned expressions on Shannon and Cannon's faces, couldn't feel any naive expectation that they would be saved. That's right. Kinzo was, in the truest sense, carrying out these murders at random. In the truest sense, he was killing like it was a game to see who would be saved and who would be killed. 410 looked at Kyrie for a second. In that second, Kyrie prepared for her own death. Once she had readied her golden bow in midair, 410 looked at someone else over Kyrie's shoulder. So, shameless as it was, Kyrie sensed that she had been saved. Again, an ugly sound of something cracking and exploding rang throughout the room. Who was it this time? Kyrie turned in the direction of the sound. She saw Ava collapse onto her husband's chest, gushing blood like a fountain. Of course, her face was half smashed, just like her husband's. 410 had mercilessly targeted Ava as she clung to her husband's body, sobbing. Rosa's protests weren't reaching Kinzo as he continued to laugh loudly in the blood-splattered dining hall. And nor was she able to lessen Krause's pain as 00 lifted him up by the collar. So Rosa had no choice but to use force. She raised one of the chairs beside her over her head and gave a warning. Why would he stop? He's having a fucking hell of a time.
それを望むならば、お前の自らの力で阻止するがよい。自らの運命は自らの手で切り開く。
He said all you have to do is kill him.
常に誰かの背に隠れ、怯えてきたお前に宿る。人生。
The chair that Rosa had lifted up swung down at the father who had reigned as a symbol of terror for her entire life. It was the greatest and final act of bravery and self-mastery in Rosa's life. Kinzo might have been right. If she had grasped that courage much, much sooner, her life might have been more free, unrestrained by anyone else. Then, a loud bursting sound. The sound of Rosa's chair fiercely hitting Kinzo, who was not. She lifted up the chair. She nearly lost half her head and fell with a thud. While still holding Krause up with one hand, 00 had stuck out her other hand and... 00 had stuck her other hand out towards Rosa. The golden snake released from that arm had constricted Rosa in a helix and chewed a hole through her head. Yep, we're done here. After declaring this with indifference, 00 let go of Krause, who she had been lifting up this whole time.
第一の番の生贄はエヴァにルドルフにローザ、夏日、秀吉、そして源氏であるか。
Interesting mix. It was a massacre that happened in an instant. The interior of the dining hall was dirtied with blood splatter, and the 6 unlucky victims lay there with their heads brutally exposed. Fittingly, it was Kinzo's abnormal laugh alone that echoed in that abnormal space.
いよいよに幕を開けたぞ。ベアトリーチェを蘇らせる儀式の始まりだ。運よく第一の番を逃れた者たちに我が友人たちを紹介しようではないか。
Yes, hello, Chesters.
いでよ、我が友よ、ロノウェイ。
Oh, hey, Runaway. When Kinzo called Runabay's name, the demon butler appeared out of thin air, bowing deeply and respectfully. Alright. I guess now that you're under Kinzo's employ, you got a different description. One of the 72 great demons serves as a master in exchange for various forms of compensation. Presently in contract with Beatrice as her butler, head furniture. Has multiple underlings, trained in housekeeping, exposes himself, and he himself is extremely capable as butler. Playing himself has become a kind of status for high society for witches. Furthermore, cookies. Nope, same description.
皆様方、はじめまして。そして、ご無沙汰の皆様におかれましてはごきげんよう。これはまた派手に散らかされましたようで。
Yeah, get the hydrogen peroxide. It's a fucking bitch to get blood out of fucking white claw.
よいわ。我が白昼夢のごとき日々を覚ますには、この程度の刺激が必要だ。紹介しよう。我が友人であり、頼れる執事であり、72柱の大悪魔であるロの上だ。
Hello.
以後、お見知りおき。
Just who was he aiming that introduction at? Kraus and Kyrie, who were still down on their backsides, and Nanjo and Goda and Kumasawa could only look up in shock at this middle-aged gentleman who they had never met before. Only Shen and Cannon seemed to recognize him, and they bowed deeply.
現時には挨拶が叶いませんでしたが、せめて苦痛なく役目を終えられたなら良いのですが。
Mostly getting fucking your head blown off tends to do that.
頭部直撃弾にて即死でした。苦痛を味わう暇もありません。
そうですか。結構です。
続けて友を紹介しよう。いでよ、我が友ワルギリア。
Hello. Once again, the figure someone unknown to the relatives appeared out of thin air. She appeared in an elegant dress while greeting them gracefully.
召喚を感謝します、親方様。許されるならば、このような血生臭き場に呼び出されたくはありませんでした。
Yeah, there's a lot of blood all about.
こやつも紹介しよう。我が友であり、頼れる相談役でもあるワルギリアだ。
Alright, any differentiation and whoa, fucking all the sisters too. Retired in the Switch, Beatrice Master, Master, Beatrice Virgilia directed, nope.
偉大なる有限の魔女であるお前の力を我が儀式に借りたい。その力を貸せ。
お断りしようにも、あなたの強力な召喚霊族下にある身ではそれも叶いません。御意に、親方様。
それにしても恐ろしいお方だ。シエスタの姉妹兵を3人も召喚し、私に加え、さらにワルギリア様までも召喚せしめるとは。召喚という能力においてのみとはいえ、お嬢様をもはるかに上回るとは恐ろしい。後ろ宮の地に旋律を覚えます。
ベアトリーチェ復活の儀式を執り行うために、私は召喚師としてのすべてを尽くすだろう。
taking matters in your own hands this time.
まだ足りぬな。この度の儀式の完璧なる遂行のために、さらに召喚しよう。ペンドラゴンの記念兵に、ロの上にワルギリア。まだ呼べるぞ。
No, it's
我が
fine.
魔力なら
That's enough.
まだまだ呼べる。我が召喚に
We don't need any more
答え
headaches here.
72柱が一人。ガープよ。
ガープ？あれまでも権限できるというのですか？
さらに、この島の侵食が進んだということでしょう。私たちが権限できているほどです。今さらどんな大悪魔が呼び出せたとしても、驚くには値しますまい。
もはや六軒島は完全に
Fucking busting open his
異世界
Rolodex
に
and
飲み
like
込まれている
scrolling
と
to
い
the
うこと
fucking
です。
Solomon servant section.
彼が屈服しないと良いのですが。
前回たっぷり入れ知恵をなされたでしょう。この程度では今さら屈服しますまい。おそらくですがね。
I mean, the easiest solution for like, oh, a human did this is Kinzo just fucking walked in with his lever action, which I'm pretty sure we've established holds 6 shots. You know, 5 in the tube, 1 in the chamber.
Don't
quote me on that.
今回の主人公はどうやら親方様のようだ。お嬢様とは一味違った脚本に期待しましょう。
Ooh, blue. As Kinzo strongly concentrated his magical power, a pale blue light gathered in the air, twisted, and a magic circle began to be drawn with a deep red light. That's an outfit! Damn, look at those drills! Then it shattered with the sound of glass, and a new demon could be seen there.
よくぞ我が呼びかけに応えた。72柱の大悪魔が一つ、ガープよ。
Hello, new friends. Gop, one of the 72 great demons, she is also Beatrice's friend. Grants the power of teleportation as the mage requested. She uses this wonderful power only for pranks. Her favorite trick is hiding keys and bags on busy mornings. However, this power of hers is an ultimate weapon that risks delivering the lethal blow to a locked room mystery. Her queen bee-like strikes would probably penetrate all famous detectives and make them surrender. Okay. Yeah, being able to teleport is, like, definitely breaks the locked room, archetype?
すごいところに呼び出されたものね。この血まみれの部屋を掃除するために私は呼び出されたのかしら。ゴールドスミス。
The literally devilish woman, wrapped in a gaudy, ominous costume, looked at the horrifying scene which should have made her cover her eyes, and her mouth twisted into a grin.
そのためだけにあなたを呼び出すとしたら、カシミヤのマフラーで雑巾掛けをするようなものですよ。
お久しぶりですね、ガープ。あなたのような大悪魔がとうとうこの島に現れてしまうなんて、いよいよこの島も幻想に沈むのでしょうか。
部屋の惨状よりもこの豪華キャストの方が驚くべきね。シエスタ姉妹が3人もいて、
Yeah, quite a party we got going on here.
大魔女ワルギリアに私まで。これは何事？ここはパンデモニウム？地獄の演奏会でも始めるつもりかしら。なるほど。そこで指揮棒が震えるのはあなたぐらいしか思いつかないわ。
そなたにはベアトリーチェを蘇らせる我が儀式遂行のための進行役として協力してもらう。我が召喚契約に依存はないな。
依存も何も。天下の大魔女ベアトリーチェを刺激した伝説の大召喚師ゴールドスミス教の召喚霊族に私が抗えるわけもない。協力はするわよ。
Alright, seems Kinzo got a bigger reputation than I thought.
もちろん見合ったお題もいただくけどね。で、最初の仕事は
第一の番を免れた間抜けどもを捕らえよ。幸いにもここにはまだ7人いるではないか。南條にシャノンにカノン、ゴーダに熊沢、キリエにクラウス。ほう、この7人を丸々生贄に捧げればちょうど13人だ。第2の番以降を実行するタイミングが訪れるまで生贄の檻に放り込んでおくがよかろうが。
カシミヤの雑巾がけね。了解したわ。
As Gap shrugged her shoulders, she looked at Kraus, who was still down on his butt. She glared. Then she snapped her fingers, and Kraus was swallowed up by the floor, as though a round pitfall had opened up there. Get fucking Looney Tuned. There was no hole in the floor, but it had certainly looked as though Kraus had been swallowed up by a hole and disappeared. Searching for her next prey, Gap's gaze crossed Kyrie's. She snapped her fingers. Kyrie jumped back as though repelled. Her instinct was correct. It was in the place where she had been until a second ago. A round, jet-black hole had appeared, the same kind that had swallowed up Kraus. However, before she could catch her balance, another pitfall appeared and had swallowed her up. Even Kyrie had no way of eluding Gap's capture. Oop! There goes Nanjo! Snap went her fingers once again, and a shocked Nanjo disappeared into the floor. Another snap of the fingers. And 410 let out a short yelp and jumped back. This time, a slightly large pitfall had opened, taking in both Shannon and Cannon, who had been standing in a line by the door. But 410 had jumped away from the door. The way was no longer blocked. Instinctively aware that he would be next, Goten dashed out through that door. Of course, Kumasawa too was hot on his heels and ran off at lightning speed. As Gap snapped her fingers over and over, round, jet-black pitfalls opened one after another behind them, chasing them. However, they did nothing but drive the desperately fleeing pair forward and couldn't swallow them up. Goten and Kumasawa escaped in a matter of seconds.
鈍ったわ。二人逃がした。ご安心を。逃走目標を捕捉中であります。
データリンクよし。にひ。狙撃しますか？
いいえ、それは許可できません。貴重な生贄です。親方様の許可を待つよう。
大ゴールドスミス卿、指示を待ちます。
第二の晩の訪れにはまだ早いと我が魔力の源泉がささやいておるわ。今はならぬ。
Also, like, Goten and Kumasawa don't really fit the, the requirements for the second Twilight.
好きにさせてやれ。どうせこの島からは逃げられぬわ。
親方様の魔力の源泉とはすなわちノイズとリスクと運試し。つまりは気まぐれというわけですか？
そうとも言うかもしれぬ。ガープ、ご苦労であった。儀式はこのまま着実に進めよ。さて、それはそれとして。
So, you gonna clean this mess up a bit?
次は我が孫たちだ。次期当主たる資格があるかどうかを試す。
Well, then again, this isn't Kinzo. Doesn't really seem the type to fucking make the elaborate, setups like Beatrice does. Probably just gonna leave them as they are.
どうやってその資質を確かめたものか。
その資格があると判断されたなら、ベアとの復活を断念されるおつもりで？
無論だ。にもかかわらず試す。女の身にはわからぬであろうな。この矛盾。
I don't think anybody can understand that, bud.
相変わらず男ってどこか変ね。
No, it's more just him.
リスクを遊ぶという概念、わかりかねるわ。
おやおや、あなたはそういうのが大好きかと思っておりましたが。
もちろんよ、男に。危険なリスクと一緒に恋をささやかれたらキュンキュンしちゃうわ。
Jot that down.
ただしイケメンに限る。
She's gotta be an Ikemen, alright.
お静かに。死後は慎むように。
So Battler?
実にかしましい奴らだ。
Don't you mean just normal women then?
だが少なくとも退屈はせぬ。これだから召喚は愉快なのだ。そなたらには我が儀式のノイズとリスクの天秤の片側を担ってもらうぞ。
Yeah, noise is right.
その働きに期待している。
Six brutally murdered corpses lay in the dining hall, which was tarnished by a red and gruesome decoration. By now, it was impossible to imagine that 13 people had been sitting here in an orderly manner just moments ago. Kinzo lined up the demons of renown and their subordinates, loudly declared the beginning of an overwhelming night of mass murder, and swore to himself that he would certainly revive Beatrice and open the door to the Golden Land.
待たせたな。
Yep, hi Beatrice.
これにて第一の番、いよいよ開幕。
はいパチパチパチ。
金蔵め、相変わらず派手を好む男よ。付きまとわれればしつこいことこの上なき男も、舞台の上ではこれほどまでに映えるというのか。
くそ、相変わらず黒い殺し方ばかりしやがって。
Yeah, but at least, you know, it was fucking just bop and they were done.
頭部半壊だ。てめえら魔女ども悪魔どもの悪趣味には相変わらずうんざりさせられるぜ。
Almost like they got fucking shot in the head with a 45.
頭部半壊。なるほど。これまでのゲームで一番理想的な殺し方がこれだと気づいたわけね。
理想的？このひでえ殺し方がどう理想的だってんだ。
Yeah, it's efficient. I guess.
実に理想的じゃない。一番最初のゲームを思い出してみるといい。
Well, yeah, if you destroy the whole head, their face, you can't really identify the corpse.
お前はさっき登場しやがった。くそ。また魔女の侵食が進んで、ろくでもない奴が増えたというわけなのか。
Yeah, unsavory is a good description of her. The more the witch's coercion progresses, the more Rokujima tilts towards the other world. That's why strange people keep appearing one by one. This island is closed off by the typhoon. Not only can no humans leave it, but new humans can't appear either. But the more the... Corrosion? Corrosion. I think I said like coercion the first time. Corrosion progresses, the more witches and demons can appear without limit, increasing one by one. By now, perhaps there are more demons than humans among the characters appearing in this insane tale. Their numbers might be precisely the figure representing this madness, this mad corrosion. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. And not only are their numbers being affected by the corrosion, their fashion sense apparently is as well. If the corrosion advances any further, and even more weird people appear, what in the world will they be wearing? Too scary for me to imagine. Seriously, give me a break. Please, no more of these weird-ass people.
そうはいかんぞ。まだまだ増やすぞ。人間どもの語るクローズドサークルなる間抜けなルールをわらわがいくらでも怪我してやろうぞ。よく来たな。ガープよ。お久しぶりね、リーチェ。お元気だった？というか随分元気そうじゃない。
Oh yeah, she's been having so much
あ
fun.
なた若返った？私が知ってる頃より2、300歳は若々しいわ。ああ、なるほど。
The demon grandfather had summoned and introduced as Gap. Took a glance at me, and then grinned as though she'd figured something out on her own. Honestly, I felt that smile was repulsive.
レアとの友人らしいな。ってことは輪をかけてろくでもねえやつってわけだ。
Yeah, Beatrice don't keep the very best of company.
しかしクローズドサークルがなんとかって言ってやがったが、どういう意味だ？
It's a mystery thing.
今の六軒島のような外界から断絶された場所で起こる連続殺人ミステリーはクローズドサークルとも呼ばれるわ。
Where no outside influence can be
外
involved.
界からの断絶、つまりは閉じられた輪の世界というわけ。故に登場人物と容疑者は限定されるのが一般的。
Yeah, but Beatrice is like fucking playing cornhole and fucking just throwing bags of like fucking demons into the circle from the outside.
にもかかわらず、新しい容疑者候補が次々に輪の外から追加されていくのはミステリーの作法に反する。つまり人間とミステリーに対する魔女の冒涜ってつもりなんでしょう。
あなたがグレーテル？なるほど。賢い子みたいね。そういう子は好きよ。舌が甘くてとろけるから。
Oh, hey, whoa.
気色悪い。冗談は服だけにしておいて。
デビリッシュプリティの最新作、ジャック・ザ・リッパークリスマス・ブラッド。人間界の田舎娘には理解できないセンスでごめんね。
It's certainly unique.
通気性がいいのだけは理解できたわ。ついでに頭にも切れ目を入れたら脳みその通気性も良くなるかもね。
ガープは魔界の流行にいつも敏感でな。
Oh, yep, that's fashion,
しかし
alright.
今年の流行りも実に大胆だ。わらわも一度ぜひ取り寄せてみるとしよう。
I don't think you'd be able to really pull that off, Beatrice.
リーチにはアリグレがおすすめね。アリス&ザ・グレーブヤード。
I mean, you got the body for it, it's just not your vibe.
今度一緒に666にお洋服見に行きましょうよ。
666. Alright, what's that? I know it's the number of the beast and all that. Ellie Green, 666. These are references to modern Japanese fashion subculture. Alice in the Graveyard references Alice and the Pirates, a gothic pirate punk Lolita fashion brand. 666 refers to the famous department store and fashion store 109 in Shibuya, Japan's popular youth culture district. Finally, Devilish Pretty is a reference to Angelic Pretty, a famous sweet Lolita fashion brand.
たまには魔界にもいらっしゃいな。このゲームを終えたらぜひそうしようぜ。それにしてもリーチの対戦相手のお二人はなかなか可愛いわ。この子なら東部半壊死体にどういう意味があるか察しがつきそうね。
いや、
わかる？
さっきこいつは一番最初のゲームを思い出せと言ったな。
Because only half that face is gone, you're able to identify the corpse and can easily rule out it's a body double.
どういう意味だ？
言葉通りの意味を一番最初のゲームの第一の番を思い出して、大人たちの死体が魔法陣の描かれた園芸倉庫の中で発見された時のことを覚えてる？
I remember, even though that was a really long time ago. Episode 1, The First Twilight. 6 people, Kraus, Rudolph, Curie, Rosa, Shannon, and Goda, had died. Each of them had had their heads pulverized.
あの時、あそこには2種類の死体があったわ。それは、顔面を粉砕された死体と、側面を粉砕された死体の2種類。
そうだ。顔面粉砕はルドルフ、キリエ、ローズ、ゴーダの4人。側頭部粉砕はクラウス、シャノンの2人だ。
Also, did it update who died on the human side yet? No. Okay, someone needs to come and fucking find the bodies first.
わらわもあの時点では気まぐれに生み出した2種類の死体であったが、より残忍な死体である前者の方がわらわにとってむしろ不利であることに気づいたのだ。
Yeah, left too much wiggle room.
そうか。
You're able to theorize too much.
そういうことか。
That's right. Smashed faces might look atrocious, but they made it hard to confirm the identity of the person. For example, at the time, Uncle Kraus and Shen had had their heads only half smashed. That itself was of course atrocious, but because half of their faces remained, it was easy to confirm their identity. But Dad and the other 3 were different. Because his face had been completely destroyed, even I, his son, could only guess that it could have been Dad because of his clothes and the like. In short, it remained unclear until the end. That'll choke on nothing, just air. It remained unclear until the end whether that was really Dad's corpse.
第1のゲームの時にも、もしも推理バトルが行われてたなら、俺は多分、親父たちの死体を本人確認不能のため、偽装死体の可能性もあると主張していたかもしれない。何しろ、あのゲームの時には、ベアとは一切赤での発言もしていない。
Yeah, that rule wasn't introduced yet.
お上手よ。それで正解。偽装死はミステリーの基本の一つ。たとえ医者に検証させたとしても、犯人とグルを疑われればその結果は信用できない。つまり確実な死を保証できない死体は常に魔女サイドを不利にするということ。
あらゆる死体について偽装死を疑い、その後の事件の犯人に想定することができる。バトラの嫌う手だけど、魔女に対する最も初歩的な一手ね。
ああ、そうだ。だからベアとは赤を使い出した。赤き真実で完璧な検証を行うようになったんだ。
そういうことだ。 本来ならばこの第一の番の惨劇に対しわらわはすぐにでも赤き真実にてこの度の6人の死亡を確定させるところである。
Yep.
しかし知っての通り今回のわらわの戦法はこれまでとは正反対の赤き真実の兵糧攻めといったところ。そなたが反撃の拠り所にしようとする以上、わらわは容易には赤を使わぬ。
Leave it purposely vague so that way you don't even know which angle to attack from.
必要最低限の赤にてたった一箇所だけほころびさせればいい。つまりわらわは究極的に言えばそなたのあらゆる密室の推理についてあらゆる暴言を許せどもそのうちの一つをたった一回の若き真実にて打ち破るだけで良いわけだ。
Yeah, not the best position to be in.
散々俺をいたぶってきやがったくせに俺が反撃に使い出したら今度は引っ込めやがったってわけだ。ふざけやがってよ。
とにかく赤を使いたくない。けっちりたい。バトラーをいじめてやりたい。
Oh yeah, we know that.
しかし赤を使わずに確実なる死を保証するにはどうすればよいのか。わらわは悩みに悩んだわけだ。
Just leave the corpse perfectly identifiable and make it very clear that there's no way they're faking being dead.
そのアイデアをガープがくれた。実に簡単な方法だったのだ。
当たり前なことを言ったらリーチがひらめいただけよ。私は誰にでも容易に身元の判別と完全なる死が理解できる死体を用意すればいいと言っただけ。
つまりはその2つを合体させたわけよ。身元の判別に必要な顔と完全なる死の象徴である魂の器たる頭部の粉砕。この2つを左右ぴったりきれいに合体させたらあら不思議。この頭部半壊死体がパーフェクトであるという答えが出たわけだ。
It's crude but efficient.
お前絶対2色パンとか2色アイスが好きだろ。欲張りな子供市民丸出しだぜ。
いずれにせよ
Beatrice into like Neapolitan?
たとえ頭部が半壊していたとしても現時点では彼らが死んだとみなすべきではないわ。
分かってる。ベアトがもったいぶって赤での宣言を拒む以上、全ては疑ってかかるべきだな。もちろんシエスタの太もも姉ちゃんたちの魔法殺人だって鵜呑みになんか絶対しねえぜ。
本当に慎重になったこと。最初のゲームの頃だったなら何でもかんでも鵜呑みにしてくれていたのにね。
Yeah, he's becoming a little bait shy. It's getting a little harder to hook, line, and sinker him.
好敵手はこうでなくては面白くないというものよ。今は
It's like if you go fish in a pond that's like stocked with like trout or something. But it's like catch and release. It gets harder to catch them as the year goes on because they're like, I'm not fucking biting that. I'll just get hooked again.
一番最後、一番美味しいところでバッサリと赤き真実にて叩き切ってくれようぞ。
Yeah, attack the weak spot for massive damage. Wow, look at that. A chapter for once that isn't like an hour long and I didn't have to double up. Damn, that's crazy. Where are we at? Hidden little dungeon where all the sacrifices are? Yeah, sounds like you fell pretty hard. But with that is where we're going to end it here for today. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko. Hope to catch you guys all there. Later. Bye. Mwah.